Is there anybody on the call right now that's a total jerk? Just unmute yourself. Do we have any super jerks on the call? Okay, no. Or at least you're not honest about it. If you're a super jerk, go ahead.
I try really hard. I am a jerk, but I try my hardest not to be, and then that's what comes out. So there you go.
Corey, I appreciate the honesty. Corey's really trying hard to not be a jerk. What we're about to cover will help you not be a jerk. But for most of us that aren't like Corey, who's naturally a jerk, Corey's not a jerk. For most of us, we're good people. We didn't get into sales if we weren't good people. The fact that we're such good people is the reason why we make this mistake. And the mistake that we make is this, and we are all guilty of it. We listen to bond versus listening to understand. If we were sitting on the beach, you and I'm not trying to help you solve a problem. I'm not trying to help you improve your life. I'm not trying to make a sale for myself. It would be cool for us just to sit around and listen to bond. But in our business world, in our professional career, again, I use the analogy of being doctors all of the time because it's a great analogy, because that's essentially what we are as salespeople, as physicians trying to get people healthier, whether it's a person, whether it's a business, whether it's an organization, trying to help them solve their problems. In our professional life, listening to bond is one of the worst things we could possibly do, yet all of us do it because we want to make friends with that person. I want to make friends. I want to show them that we have a lot in common. We say stupid stuff. And not only is this stuff, and you're going to be like, well, that's not stupid. It is, because you're wasting their valuable time, right? Oh, I'm in Tampa. Oh, my brother-in-law, Rick, lives in Tampa. We try and build this commonality. And what ends up happening when we listen to bond, we're listening for things that we have in common with that person. Your brain, and you might not have ever realized this, maybe you'll realize it as I say this, your brain is scanning the conversation for like moments that you can latch onto, instead of your brain scanning the conversation to understand what's going on in that person's life. Let me give you an example. Okay? Trying to get a meeting scheduled with somebody. I'm trying to get a meeting scheduled with Corey, right? I'm trying to get time in front of Corey so we can go through the contract. And Corey says something like, I can't do Wednesday. My kid's got a t-ball game, right? Let's say my kid was in t-ball. What's the first thing that we say? Oh, wow. I'll do a real world example. I'm trying to schedule the meeting and Corey says, my son's got a hockey game. I can't make it. I immediately, every fiber in my being wants to go, oh, hey, Corey, my kid's in hockey too. What division is your kid in? Right? Who do they play? And now all of a sudden the conversation has gone down the road of hockey. You guys don't think that's a big deal, but this is a huge deal. We have a limited amount of time with our prospects. We're not here to make friends. We're here to solve their problems and make their life better, their organization better. If you do that, you'll naturally make friends in the process. But if I say, like, let's say Corey says, I can't make the meeting on Wednesday. My son's got a hockey game. I'm missing the opportunity to do this. Put a label on it. Sounds like, seems like, feels like. Hey, you know what, Matt? I can't do Wednesday. My kid's got a hockey game. Huh, got it. Sounds like you spend a lot of time at the hockey rink. Well, not as much time as I'd like to. Not as much time as you like to? Yeah, with everything going on with the new project and us not having the website up, I'm having to work 14 hours a day right now. 14 hours a day? Yeah, and it's pretty stressful, and I'll tell you, I've missed. That's why I have to be there Wednesday, because my son's team is in the playoffs, and I've missed probably half his games this season. Man, Corey, I get it. Would it make sense for us to possibly just move up signing the contract? We can either handle it right now, I could get it later today, but would it make sense to get this out of the way before Wednesday? And you guys might be saying to yourself, well, that's not realistic. That's incredibly realistic. Those opportunities are flying over your head hundreds of times every day. You're just not reaching up and grabbing onto them because you're focused so much on trying to find commonality with that person. I need you to realize, okay, just because your kid is in hockey and their kid is in hockey, you have two choices. You have a choice at that point to take this conversation and make it about you and what you have in common with them and make somewhat friends. You're not even going to be great friends because this is a business conversation, and then maybe you see them one day at a hockey rink. Or you can spend the time with the conversation focused on them, trying to understand them. Listen to understand and don't listen to bond. The bonding will work itself out when you figure out that the website is what's holding this person back from seeing their kid play hockey. Does that make sense? Who can comment?
Matt, you also, I've been fighting back this whole time not to bond, and you nailed it the first time. I have T-ball on Wednesdays. You hit the nail on the head the first time.
Perfect. Now, do you see, let's say my kid at T-ball. Let's just run that out. Hey, Corey, does Wednesday work for you to have the meeting?
No, I have T-ball. I have T-ball practice that day.
Do you have a kid in T-ball, or are you coaching, or are you playing T-ball?
Both actually.
Oh, that's awesome. My kid Sam, he plays T-ball as well. I was going to coach, but he plays for the Raptors, and the coaches there are insane. You guys ever play the Raptors?
Actually, we do when we play basketball. You must be in Canada where you guys get your sports confused. I like that. It's fun.
Yeah. I mean, big confusion there, man. So, how's your kid liking T-ball?
He loves it. I love it too. I don't have enough time. I wish I could spend more time doing it.
Yeah, man.
They love it.
Kids are great, aren't they?
They're fantastic. Do you have any other kids?
Oh yeah, my son Anderson, he plays hockey. He's doing really great in hockey. I got a daughter, she's in college right now. She's the presidential scholar at Loyola Marymount, and she's the assistant to the dean of students there. Man, we are super proud of her. And on and on and on and on.
I have a nephew that's in that same boat, and then
Oh, boom, and on and on and on, right, Corey? And cool. So you feel like you bonded with me a little bit, right? But not really. It's not like we just became best friends. Now let's flip the script on that. Hey, Corey, does Wednesday work to sit down and go through the contract?
If it's later in the day, no, because I have a T-ball practice with my son.
Got it. When you say later in the day, unpack that for me. What's kind of your hard stop there?
I've got to be done by 3:00.
Oh, okay, cool. So if we were able to do 11, would that work on your end? I could move some things around on my side.
Yeah, I think that should work.
Awesome. I'm going to go ahead and send you over an invite for 11. If anything comes up in the meantime, you'll have my email be in the invite. But my mobile is 720-660-3202. Feel free to text me if you want to ramp things up, get it ahead of time, or anything changes. I am back to back on meetings, so if you can give me a heads up if you're running late, that would be great. I'll do the same thing on my end. I won't be running late. But if I am, hey Corey, what's the best number? What's the number I can text you at if for some reason I'm running a couple minutes late to the meeting?
It's 415 555 3334.
Perfect. Now, do you see how I chose? Do you see how when you understand the process, you then can pick and choose what play you're going to run? I decided to not go with, sounds like you're spending a lot of time at the ballpark, because I didn't hear any real pain there. And I also heard you say, if it's later in the afternoon. So I chose to go, okay, well, let me focus on the earlier time. But if the conversation would have gone the exact same way if I said, oh, T-ball, my kid plays T-ball. And now we're not being effective. What I would much rather have is after you get your business done, after you help these people change their life, if you then want to send them a card, or if you notice them at the T-ball fields, go over, say hi, buy them a beer. I don't know if your company will let you expense it or not. I'm cool with it. But don't spend your valuable time diagnosing that you need to be spending, diagnosing the health of your patient, finding out what's best for your patient. Don't spend the valuable time that you need to be spending understanding them, trying to bond with them. We don't get paid to bond. There's a lot of people out there that have tried to make their career bonding with people. They all jump from job to job to job because they have these incredible amounts of LinkedIn connections. They refer to everybody as their dear friends, and yet they're never really solidly connected to anybody, and they couldn't sell their way out of a paper bag. But they can interview really well because they go, oh yeah, I know Corey Pebler. Our kids both play t-ball in the same league, because they know all of that stuff. But if you ask them, hey, so what do you think, what's Corey's biggest challenge? What are their Q2 goals? Well, I don't know. We spend all our time talking about t-ball. Anybody else have any real world stories that you can share around this, where either somebody's just spent all their time bonding with you, or you've made the mistake spending all your time trying to bond with them?
So Matt, it's John. I would just say that I've made this mistake for not a decade, maybe 2 decades of my career.
Yep.
And I fight myself every single time. Whoever just said he lived in a 415 area code lives in San Francisco.
Yep.
So what I ordinarily would have done prior to our training is I probably would have said, San Francisco?
Bingo.
Where do you live?
Yeah.
And at this point now, I want to give you an observation. So what I'm doing today is I'm jumping right into the content. I'm jumping right into what it is I'm there to talk about.
Exactly.
And I do find myself fighting that a little bit, but I know it's the right thing to do. The meetings are more productive, and I get to the finish line faster. And if there's time for pleasantries at the end of the call, I'll go there, but only if I've already established the why am I having this conversation. Because their time's valuable.
Correct.
30 minutes. Do you want to lose 10 minutes on talking about familiar pleasantries? Let's just jump into the matter at hand and let's go. And that's one of the bigger things I've learned from you, Matt, is that specific thing where I relate very well to people. I think everybody on this call relate to people very well.
Yeah.
You do that naturally. But get to the point, and that's what I've been trying to apply every single time I have a conversation with someone. Even when I talk to you. If I have one-on-one with you, it's the same thing. We jump right into business because we've got 60 minutes, we got 30 minutes. I want to get as much out of that 30 minutes or 60 minutes I have with you.
Yeah, and a lot of people will label that and say, oh, well, you're being obtuse, you're being rude, that's not how sales is done, and I agree with them 100%. That was not how sales was done in the 1960s, in the 1970s, in the 1980s, when even the most high-power executives had 4 meetings in a day. And you were one of them, and there was somebody there to bring you coffee and tea and light your cigarette, right? Nowadays, in 2022, that person has 37 meetings that day. Make friends with them by showing them you are sharp as a tack, you are enthusiastic, you understand their problems, and you can solve their problems. If you go into an emergency room bleeding out of your neck, the last thing that you want that doctor to do is recognize that you've got a Kansas Jayhawks jersey on and go, oh my gosh, what do you think, what are our chances next year? I don't know, I'm getting kind of woozy. Well, how did you think we did this year in the tournament? I mean, was that crazy or was that not crazy? I don't know, I feel cold, right? Oh, I lost another one. Every time there's a Jayhawks fan here, they die on me. I can't figure it out. The world of sales has completely changed. Today's customer has access to more information. Today's customer has more choices. The business world needs you. Studies have shown that 84% of salespeople fail to achieve their goals. The old sales training, well, it just doesn't work today. I'd like to teach you how to take the stress out of selling in a way that's meaningful to you and your customers, and get you 7 times more business. I'll show you how the perfect sales process works. I'm gonna walk you through everything from prospecting to closing the deal. I'm gonna show you how to determine your prospects' wants and their needs so you can build value in your solutions. You will learn how to handle any objection or complaint. I'm gonna show you how to connect with your customer so it's easy for them to buy from you. I've taught the best companies in the world and thousands of people just like you how to hit their targets. Selling is complicated. I'll simplify it for you. There's more competition than ever before. I'm gonna show you how to be number 1. All of a sudden, your career is gonna make perfect sense, even if you've never worked in sales or the corporate world before. And for the advanced sales professionals, I'm gonna show you how to take things to the next level. Easton University is a new simple, step-by-step process that's effective in any industry, large or small. You are about to become a certified master sales consultant. I'm Matt Easton, and this is Easton University.